is my beautiful wife, Heather, and my name's Greg Matthews.
How do we get plugged into Christ? That's I just feel like it's always hard for Greg and I to talk about that because it for both of us, it was like over like
10 years.
a period of so many years. So I guess, we started going to church together when we were dating, and we were just, he and I had both had, our fair share of trouble in our youth. And so we were looking for something different.
We both really came to Christ well into our adult lives. I think I was 27 when I got baptized, and you were 24. So for me, and I'll just speak for myself, man, I'd spent a long time living in a lot of sin, and really once I got baptized and started, trying to follow Christ, I feel like I kind of felt unworthy to serve for a good amount of time, probably 3 years. I kind of went through the motions at church. I showed up, I read some of my Bible, but as far as, I didn't have much Bible knowledge. I felt kind of like, what did I really have to offer? I hit a period where I really felt disconnected with God and got desperate. I remember praying for, just asking God where I was falling short. And what was made clear to me is that I wasn't serving the way He intended me to. What comes to mind is Matthew 25, where, what you do for the least of these, you do unto me. So I could just love other people, serve other people. It doesn't really matter that I'm not a Bible scholar. And I could, show Christ that I love Him in that way. So essentially that kind of made things a lot easier. It was on our hearts when they were looking for help in children's ministry. So that called out to us. And then I had something happen where we had our son Jack in a Bible day camp over the summer. It was at Eastside Christian, and I drove him to that every day. And over the course of that time, I got to know their senior minister. And then Heather and I were at Kohl's shopping the following weekend after that little camp. We ran to him and his wife there. And then when we went to kindergarten, the Meet the Teacher Day at Wilson, we ran into him and his wife there again. I'm like, man, why do we keep running into this guy? And he told me that Wilson has this program where it's called Watchdogs, where the dads come in and it essentially eliminates bullying in the school, just having the dads around there. And I said, hey, I wanted to get involved. I wanted to show up at the school, and I thought that would be a good way. And so got involved with that.
Piccadilly was on our hearts because we used to go to, we work out at Beachmont Racquetball Club, and we would go there, and just between going there and Starbucks, we would see people just coming out of the neighborhood, and they kind of reminded us of how we used to be. And there was one night after our friend's funeral, someone that just awesome servant heart. We were sitting around and we were talking about the fact that we should probably find ways to serve. We should probably carry out his legacy and find ways to serve. And we were sitting at that Starbucks when we were talking about that, and so we saw people were coming back and forth at 2 a.m. We were still sitting out there. And I just remember thinking okay, this is where we need to serve, because this is where our hearts are. We can relate with these people, and I don't know, we just kind of have a natural longing to be back there and to kind of invest in some of those people. It's kind of hard to get back there. We've tried several different avenues, but I did get hooked up with a woman at New Life Furniture who said that they deliver furniture to, that she gets clients back there often. And so I figured if we started helping with New Life Furniture, that we might have an in back there to reach some of the families that way by moving their furniture. We're going to put some stuff in the Christmas cards that they get this year. about Parkside. I wanted the family Christmas. So hopefully maybe some of them will come to that. So right now we're still trying to just get back there as much as we can, and we're hoping that we can build some relationships out of that.
When I first started going to church, it was more about what not to do and what to cut out of my life, because there was a lot of stuff that needed to be cut out of my life, really. And what it's become really over the course of this past year or so is about things, action items that I can take.
I feel like when we are out serving and we're just trying to, basically I'm just trying to give back what someone did for me. You know, I had a woman that came into my life that didn't have to, and she loved me and she didn't have to, and she taught me all sorts of things just about being a mom and life. And, you know, her husband's funeral was like the most amazing thing we've ever been to. Like you know, you go to a funeral and you think it's just going to be all about crying, and there were just lines of people that were ready to share their story about how he impacted their life. And it was just really, really cool. And ever since then, we've just been kind of like, man, like, that's just so amazing, the lives that he touched and how many people he changed. And since we've kind of had the mindset, like, we should try to live like that. We want to live like that. I think that, like, even our own relationship is better. You know, and our relationship with our kids is better just because you learn how to love people for where they're at, which isn't really something I ever thought about before.
What God's put on my heart is just to have smart feet. And she always says that. And
Smart feet. Wait a minute. I have you can't use that. Smart feet means going to where you're supposed to go, even if you don't want to. But I copyrighted that, and he can't use it.
I know where you got that from.